Hi, this is Suzanne Patterson from High Definition Makeup University, and along with Graftobian Make-Up Company, we developed this training DVD, HD Makeup 101, as an introduction to makeup techniques for the high definition format. This information is useful to not only makeup artists, but more and more women are learning that clean and natural looking makeup helps them look their professional best on the job. If you are a production makeup artist like me working in video and television today, you frequently hear the terms high definition, HD, HDTV, or high def. This format requires us to perform a level of makeup artistry that produces the cleanest and most flawless looking face possible for high resolution cameras. We need products and techniques that deliver transparent to translucent results in order to create the most natural looking complexion for a high definition picture that is extremely revealing. For the novice artist who has little to no video set experience, these high definition terms refer to a full digital signal format that records or broadcasts in ultra high resolution. High definition television delivers much more magnification and clarity than ever before, with vivid color and strikingly clear details of the face. This instantly reveals any flaws in the complexion. All videography and still photography production done today has high definition resolution capability. Thus, the challenge for novice artists is finding makeup technique instruction that is focused directly on the demands of this format. In this video, I will share with you just a few basic techniques from some of the many makeup methods I have modified for HD application throughout the years since I began working in HD over a decade ago. From prep to finish, you will learn basic steps to creating a high-definition, camera-prepared face in both cream and airbrush applied makeup. With practice, you will gain confidence along with refinement in your skill set that will enable you to create makeup that looks clean, natural, and beautifully forward for anyone appearing in high-resolution media. You will see firsthand how Graftobian is the go-to product line that meets the demanding requirements of high-performance makeup for high-definition resolution, especially for continuity and long wear. Let's get started. Pre-foundation skin preparation. Always start any makeup application with a clean and dry face. If the skin texture tends to be normal or oily, then apply Anti-Shine HD Foundation Makeup Primer directly to the face. If the skin is very dry or flaky, it will inhibit the smoothest bonding possible with the foundation and may even pull moisture from it. Any flaky or dry textured skin that isn't smoothed down can be picked up by the HD camera and seen as an unwanted, patchy looking texture on skin. To minimize this problem, apply a very thin film of Oxyderm moisturizer with a foundation brush and smoothing this down well on the skin. Allow it to settle onto the skin surface for a few minutes. Blot with a velour puff to remove any unabsorbed excess, especially if you feel you might have applied too much. Foundation primer. Primer is a bonding agent for makeup which works two ways. It helps to even out the skin texture and minimize pores while sealing in the moisturizer. It also minimizes excess skin oil production so that the foundation can be applied smoothly and evenly, which results in a good foundation bond to skin. Primer also helps keep the makeup color consistent and prevents it from moving or disappearing from skin on a long day's wear, which is especially important for oily skins. To apply, take a moistened sponge wedge that has been sprayed lightly with water and use it to apply a very thin layer of Anti-Shine HD Foundation Makeup Primer over the face. Allow that to settle onto the skin before moving on to applying the foundation base. Correction work. Correction work is an essential step that helps the overall complexion look smoother and more even under the makeup. The high-definition camera can pick up on and magnify discolorations such as blemishes and hyperpigmentation, and these issues can become distracting to the viewer if they are not properly concealed. Correction work is important for dealing with discolorations in the eye area, as you want them to look as forwardly bright and luminous as possible in HD TV. Getting the canvas around them looking smooth and even is one of the secrets of the foundation base application looking more organic to the skin, so that the overall complexion ultimately looks clean on screen to the viewing eye. Blemishes and discolorations are unwanted visual colors that can be red or blue or combinations of both that produce a purplish-looking feedback in camera. They can also be hyperpigmentations of brown or gray, which also need a bit of correction work. For light to medium skin tones, I like to use yellow highlight, soft orange, or extra highlight colors for correcting discolorations. Yellow visually blends out redness in skin, and orange visually blends out dark bluish or brown discolorations. For naturalizing some other problem areas on the face, I use extra highlight in a pat and seal technique. These colors are highly saturated in pigment, so they deliver the results you need, and a little bit goes a long way. I like to work the product on the palette first with a spatula to warm it up, as that will help shear it down further into a wash of color for a smoother application. Apply a thin film with the camouflage oval brush, using a light patting motion under and around the eye area very sparingly or wherever there is a need. You can always add another thin layer if you need more opacity or coverage, but this method gives you greater control and more natural looking results using thin, film-like layers. Take a sponge wedge that has been lightly sprayed with water to dampen it, and then very lightly tap the area with the damp sponge to set the product into the skin. Do not wipe with the sponge or you risk removing it completely. Or if you prefer, you can also very lightly tap a thin layer of translucent powder over the concealed area with a flat oval brush to seal it. Then lightly tap over that with a damp sponge. For medium to darker skin tones, use the High Definition Glamour Cream Super Palette in neutral. Pick out the prominent colors visible in the normal color of the skin just outside of the discoloration or hyperpigmentation. Work the product on the palette the same way as previously discussed. Using a light tapping motion with the Ultra Silk Concealer Brush number 78108, I dapple these colors randomly over the area to break up the discoloration so that it appears normalized into the surrounding skin area. Then take a sponge wedge that has been sprayed with water to dampen it, and then very lightly blot the area to set the product into the skin. This helps harmonize the colors into the skin's natural pigmentation. Do not wipe with the sponge or you risk removing it completely. You can also very lightly tap a thin layer of translucent powder over the concealed area with the brush if you wish to seal it further. Then lightly tap over that again with a damp sponge. Foundation base. Applying foundation base for HD must look like it is inborn to the skin, as if it is a naturally occurring characteristic of skin. The overall complexion should have a clean yet translucent look, and the makeup texture is not picked up by the HD camera as looking heavy, mask-like, or sitting on top of the skin. Natural coverage is a technique I use that helps blend the base effortlessly into the background of the skin. It doesn't crush out the more desirable organic features of the skin, but helps to keep them forward. Because video is inherently flatter looking to the viewer, you must be sure to maintain the levels of dimension in the face with your makeup application. The natural coverage method allows you to achieve maximum results with minimal makeup, which you will learn how to do in this video. Matching foundation base to skin is one of the most challenging techniques a novice makeup artist encounters when developing their skill set, but it is a crucial step in achieving a natural coverage outcome. However, it is not hard to master this method when you have the right tools and products that deliver accurate results. Graftobian has made it very easy for makeup artists and consumers to find an exact match of foundation base to the skin. The high-definition Glamour Cream product line has already been classified into the 2 critically important features of foundation base you need to know in order to select and match skin properly. The formulation and texture of these creams render beautifully for all skin types, whether it is for high-resolution media cameras or the scrutiny of watchful eyes in everyday wear. These cream foundation selections are categorized in both undertone and complexion shades. Undertone is the natural color key of skin, which can be warm, yellow or golden undertones, cool, meaning pink, coral, or ruddy undertones, or neutral, which doesn't reflect either yellow or pink undertones. The complexion shade is simply how light or how dark the skin appears normally to the eye. This can be a wide range of colors from alabaster to ebony. These 2 features of skin, the undertone and the complexion shade, are also picked up and recorded exactly as seen in the HD camera. This means you will want to have them matched properly to prevent any color skews in the face that will strongly reflect to the viewing audience. Determine the skin's undertone, meaning warm, cool, or neutral, first. Then select the corresponding palette and do a test streak of at least 2 different colors that appear to match the skin's lightness or darkness. Smooth, don't rub the streak from the side of the cheek down into the jawline and let it dry down to get the best reading on skin. Make sure they are far enough apart from each other to get the best view against skin. Doing 2 or 3 different color streaks offers better contrast, which will help you further in selecting the best match to skin. If the color streak seems to disappear into the background of the skin, then you know you have selected the right undertone. If it appears as an orange, grayish, or peach-colored streak sitting on top of the skin, then it's not the right undertone. Try another undertone palette using the steps above until you get the correct skin response. If the color streak is the right match to skin's complexion shade, then the color will appear to blend completely into the complexion. It will blend seamlessly down past the jawline, fading down into the neck, as if it is native to the skin's own texture. If it is too light or too dark, then it will be picked up by the HD cameras and recorded as a visual line of demarcation skew on skin, which you definitely want to avoid. Applying foundation base. Work the product on the palette first, as you learned previously in this video. Use your sponge to take up a wash of color from the palette. One of the secrets to achieving a translucent, skin-like finish in your application is utilizing a technique called stippling, which resembles a soft dabbing motion done in small circles as you move over the face. Stippling mimics the skin texture, and it produces overall smoothness and coverage, but allows the natural character of the skin to come through. Stippling is your best friend technique to keep translucency forward in your application. Wiping the base on in broader strokes can cause streaking, blotching, or uneven coverage, which results in the base looking like it is sitting on top of the skin instead of blended down into it. These skews are picked up by the HD camera and seen on the skin in a high-resolution monitor. After you have completed your base application, take a large diameter dry velour puff, fold it in half, and then gently press it over the foundation so that it pulls the application further into the skin. This ensures that the powder layer you will apply next won't grab excessively onto the face. Powder application. Powder is important because it closes and seals or sets the base application while eliminating any residual tackiness and shine. It also allows the made-up surface to blend smoothly with color, such as blush, contouring, or bronzer. Powder is also the key in maintaining the base color and providing longer-lasting wear. Powders come in pressed or loose, and it's really a matter of preference for the skin type and tone. Translucent powder comes loose and has absolutely no color added to it, so it can be used to set the makeup on all skin tones. It is also a good choice for skins that tend to be on the oily side while providing a clean-looking, soft matte finish to the makeup. HD Pro Powder can also be used to set the makeup. These are densely pigmented, silky smooth powders that are also classified in the same way as high-definition glamour creams, making it easy for you to harmonize powder with the foundation base. You also have the wonderful benefit of squeaking in a little bit of extra coverage with this product without it being detected by the HD camera. Powder must be applied very sparingly so that it doesn't reflect texture or look like it is sitting on skin, which can be readily seen in high resolution. I use a soft fan brush like the Royal Silk Fan Brush number 78107 that greatly helps control the amount of powder applied and keeps the look transparent. After applying the powder layer, take a velour powder puff and mist it very sparingly with water. Fold it in half and rub the sides together. Now gently roll this over the face as this technique further pulls the powder into the skin and at the same time removes any excess powder on the surface. Blush application. Blush is not a contouring technique, but a sheer or transparently applied wash of color that should be barely detectable on skin, to the eye, or in the camera. It is meant to visually mimic on the surface what happens naturally when skin is flushed or pinked on the cheeks as a result of blood flow to the surface. The application results need to look ultra soft and translucent, as if the color is coming organically from underneath the skin. If it doesn't look naturally muted, then it will end up registering in camera as a skew on the skin that reads like a dark or odd color stripe on the cheek. Most makeup artists don't realize that blush is definitely part of the foundation process and is also very much an undertone issue, just the way skin is. Blush must also be selected according to the skin's warm, neutral, or cool undertones in order for it to blend down natively to the skin for an inborn look in HD. Graftobian again has made it easy for the makeup artist or consumer to select the right undertone of blush. High-definition Glamour Cream blush comes in warm, neutral, or cool, and the texture stipples smoothly onto the skin so that you can control the transparency in the application. Have your talent smile so that the muscles around the cheekbone push it forward and make it appear more prominent. Again, using a circular motion in the stippling technique previously learned, apply the blush lightly over the foundation just where the cheekbone begins and not quite to the ear. Remember, less is definitely more with applying blush or HD so that it looks like it is coming naturally from underneath the skin. Next, take the HD Pro Powder Palette in neutral and with the Ultra Silk Fan Brush number 78107, stroke it over a color that is in the same tone as the complexion shade. Sweep this lightly over the cream blush application to seal it down for longer wear. It also helps knock the blush further back into the skin. To use the powder blush palette colors, remember that the same rules of matching undertone also applies when using these palettes. Take the Ultra Silk Fan Brush number 78107 and apply the color where the cheekbone begins and not quite to the ear. Again, use a circular motion as you sweep it across the cheek to keep the color native yet translucent to the skin. If you make a mistake or feel your blush application is too heavy, simply take the Pro Brush Set Blush Brush or the Ultra Silk Blush Brush number 78102 and stroke it across a color in the Pro Powder Palette that is 1/2 step lighter than the complexion. Use this to blend out the blush mistake so that you can achieve more natural looking results. An important point to keep in mind about selecting an eyeshadow color palette for HD TV work is not to choose colors that are stronger or bolder looking than the natural eye color. They tend to overpower the eye in camera and end up looking too dark against the face on screen. They can actually dull the natural brightness of the whites of the eyes, which makes them less luminous on camera. By the same token, you don't want to use overly bright or shiny iridescent colors, as these will end up competing with the natural eye color and also causing a visual texture distraction, which can result in undesirable feedback in camera. Choose goof-proof colors that produce a pleasing and balanced contrast to eyes. Every artist should have a good set of neutral colors, or what I call the autumn leaf colors, that look good on everyone. These colors project well in HD and they give a very clean and bright eye looking results in camera. The Ultra Silk Matte Eyeshadow Palette has nice colors, texture, and finish for HD work and look great on any eye color. Keep the eye color palette simple for HD work, especially if the eyes are small or deeply set, by using a 3-point color scheme. This includes a crease contouring color, an all-over lid color, and an underbrow accent highlight color. This 3-point color scheme technique is essential to have down in your skill set because it offers the best results for nearly all eye shapes. It is also the basis for more stylized eye color designs that you might wish to explore on your own. Applying eye color palette. First, apply a good primer product for lids. Priming the lid helps minimize any chance of eyeshadow colors fading, oxidizing, or creasing during long wear. Anti-Shine HD Foundation Makeup Primer helps seal down the oils on the lid so that color goes on true and blends evenly. Apply a very thin film over the lid with a Graftobian Pro Brush Set Concealer Brush and allow it to dry for about 30 seconds. I start with the darkest color first to define the natural crease of the eye. One technique I use is to press on the color with a sponge tip applicator so that I minimize any fallout under the lid. Then I take an angle blender like the Ultra Silk Angle Blender number 78116 and blend this out smoothly. Contouring helps to visually push out the most desirable shape of the eye so that the lid color will visually bend with a pleasing effect in the HD camera. Next, I apply the lid color by also pressing it in place with a sponge tip applicator and blending that out with the Ultra Silk Large Shader Brush number 97810. Then I add the highlighter color under the brow and a bit in the inner corner of the eye using the Ultra Silk Medium Eye Shader Brush number 78111. To finish the look, I take the Ultra Silk Angle Shader number 78120 and blend all of the colors again to be sure that there are no hard edges. The result should look like a soft and harmonizing bend of color with an overall pleasing balance to the eye. Sometimes I will take the white or bone-colored shadow, depending on the shade of the natural skin tone color, and lightly blend this down well underneath the eye. If it's done right, it will trick the light bounce in the camera to make the area look cleaner and a little smoother under the eye. Another application that works great in camera is a monochromatic look or colors that are different shades of the same color. This is an eye color palette that plays up the depth and contrast of the eye through simple highlights and shadows. This is an easy eye to do with the Pro Powder palette that is in the same undertone as skin. Choose two colors, one that is a step lighter than the skin tone and one that is 2 steps darker than the skin tone. Apply the lighter color all over the lid and up into the brow bone. Then apply the darker color in the crease area and lightly contour the eye shape so that you have a pleasing overall dimension. The results give a very beautiful look to the eye in camera that is nicely played up in contrast under the set lighting. Applying eyeliner. I like to strengthen and define the lash line first, especially if the lashes are sparse. I use the Ultra Silk Flat Liner number 78115 along with the cake eyeliner in black and moistened with a bit of mixing and lining liquid. I paint this on top of the lash growth line to make them appear fuller at the base. Then I take the Ultra Silk Smudge Brush number 78112 and smooth down the line so that it lays uniform to the lashes. Next, I use the Pro Pencil, which has a depth of color that looks great on any eye. I trace the pencil directly on the lid line next to the painted lash line. To blend out the line and finish it to the eye shape, use this blending technique. With the Ultra Silk Pointed Liner number 78114, stroke it directly on the pencil to load it with color. Then stroke the loaded brush on the tracing of the lid line to even out the line with a slightly upturned corner. To emphasize the under eyelash line, try this technique. Take the Ultra Silk Flat Liner number 78115 and lightly load it with the Pro Pencil. Then stroke it across the cake eyeliner. Press the brush against a small velour puff to remove any excess. Gently press the loaded brush across the top of the lashes on the lower lash line, not underneath them. This technique will help strengthen the lash line in a subtle manner, especially if the lashes are skimpy, and not make the under eye area look heavy or overdone. Applying mascara. Mascara is the finishing touch to the eyes that turns the lights on and gives a pleasing contrast against the bright whites of the eyes. I use black mascara on all of my actors because it is the one dark color you can use that is not actually flat against the eye. It gives a boost to the overall look of the eye in HD as light scatters through and around the lashes. Using black mascara is especially important if you choose not to use mascara on the lower lashes. Apply 2 thin coats of professional mascara from the root to the tip of the lashes. Place some mascara product on the mixing palette with the mascara tube wand. With the mini tackle-on fan brush from the Pro Brush set, apply a 3rd coat to just the outer third of the lashes and the tips of the lashes. Use the fan brush to apply mascara to the lower lashes for greater control in layering and minimizing mistakes. Brows are the important frame for the eyes, which gives expression to the face, so you want to be sure that they are balanced both in shape and color. A well-groomed brow amplifies the brightness of the eyes and actually enhances the positive qualities of the lips because both are the most actively moving features of the face. They work together in unison to communicate the personality, expressions, and emotions of the individual. Learning the art of creating beautiful brows is not hard when you have exactly the right tools and colors to work with. Brows are never just one basic color. They are actually a mix of tones that blend together to bring forward the prominent color you see. Because brows actually read slightly darker in the HD camera than they are in person, it is important that you don't try to match the color of the brow exactly or with just one color. This will come off as too strong or heavy brow in the HD camera, thus throwing the balance off in your overall eye makeup. Take the Pro Brow Powder Palette and the brow end of the Ultra Silk Brow Lash Brush number 78121. Select two colors that are 1 step and 2 steps lighter than the actual brow color. Start with the lightest color, which I call the underneath color, that is 2 steps lighter than the actual brow color you see. Working backwards on the brow, dot this color in a few places beneath the brow hairs and lightly stroking it backward from the inner corner of the brow to the outer edge. Make sure that you add some of this color into the more sparse places of the brow. Next, take 1 step lighter, which I call the tonal color, and do the same random dotting technique backwards, but avoid putting it in the sparse places. Take a clean brush, like the Ultra Silk Eyebrow Brush number 78119, and groom the brow in place, shaping it as you go, so that the colors blend naturally underneath the hairs and fill in the areas that need it. This method gives natural-looking support to the brows and allows any shape correction or fill-in work to look completely native to the brow in the HD camera or in real time. To finish off the brow grooming, take another clean brow brush, such as the one from the Pro Brush set, and select the skin tone color from the Pro Powder Palette that matches the skin. Take up a sparse amount of this powder on the brush and very lightly stroke this through to set the brow color in place. This will help ensure that the brow work looks organic to the real-time eye as well as in the HD camera. Sometimes I will take a white or bone-colored shadow and lightly blend this under the arch of the brow if it needs a little extra strength or shape. Applying lip color. Lips are the dynamic partner with brows in adding life to the overall expression of the face. Applying lip color is the finishing stroke that pulls the entire color palette together for a balanced face-forward look in camera. Choose lip colors that are not too bold or too bright, but colors that add harmony to the overall look. Start with applying Anti-Shine HD Foundation Makeup Primer to the lips very lightly with the Pro Brush Set Lip Liner Brush. Next, outline the lips, starting with the bottom lip first, with a liner color from the Natural Lining Pencils that closely matches the natural color of the lips. Use short, feathering strokes for the best control in tracing the lip line. On the upper lip, trace the Cupid bow peaks and follow the natural lip line down to the corner on both sides, also using short feathering strokes. Then fill in the lips with the lip liner color. With the Ultra Silk Lip Brush number 78123, apply the lip color to the bottom lip first by outlining the edge of the lip next to the pencil line. Fill in with small strokes so that it works the color into the lip instead of just a layer on top of the lip. Starting in the corner of the mouth, fill in towards the center of the lips, working it in both directions. Working in small strokes minimizes any mistakes outside of the lip line. Next, apply color to the upper lip and adding shape to the Cupid bow first. Make sure the peaks of the bow are as even as possible, and then apply the color just under the lip pencil line. Follow the line carefully down each side and to the corners of the mouth, and then fill in the lips with small strokes. For fuller and more forward-appearing lips, put a touch of non-iridescent gloss from the lip gloss palette in just the center only of the lower lip. Press the lips together only once to complete the look. The airbrush has become a staple tool for many makeup artists working in HD because of its multi-purpose ability to solve many makeup requirements with natural-looking results. It gives flawless-looking coverage and continuity in makeup for the face and body, creates natural-looking contours and highlights, and a hint of blush if you wish. The airbrush is a wonderful method to cover tattoos or to create them, along with many other kinds of special makeup effects. The airbrush easily provides that extra degree of transparency that is more difficult to achieve by hand-applied makeup. Its ability to also provide a smooth, opaque, and highly pigmented build in total coverage is also unmatched by traditional application methods. The airbrush can also be used as a concealing overlay on a hand-applied makeup for a fresh complexion-looking result. Begin with clean skin. Next, select the Glamour Cream HD foundation shade that matches the airbrush shade you will be using. Apply the cream around the eyes and nose area, blending very well. Using cream in these areas helps preserve the safety and comfort of your client and minimizes any airbrush overspray intrusion into these areas. Using a high-quality fan brush such as the Royal Silk No. C300, pick up a very small amount of the translucent setting powder. Apply a micro-thin, nearly imperceptible layer of powder by sweeping the brush lightly across the face. You need to be absolutely certain that your air pressure is low enough, 2 to 4 psi working range, in order to achieve the smoothest transparency and ultralight results in your application technique with Glamour. Always test your fluid control first by spraying a small amount onto a tissue or paper towel. This is to ensure your air pressure and fluid viscosity delivers a super light, fogged effect before you begin to apply it to skin. Your airbrush should always be kept at a slight downward angle from the skin surface. About 40 degrees down from horizontal is ideal, and 6 to 8 inches away from the skin surface to maintain control and lightness in your layering technique. Failure to maintain the above points in your application will risk loss of control over transparency in your results. Lay your work down in small, dry sections to prevent pooling so that you don't end up with a wet or oversaturated application. Work the outer perimeter of the face first so you can continually gauge the transparency and evenness of your layering. Then gradually work towards finishing in the center of the face. Keep the airbrush moving at all times during spraying so that your layering stays smooth, even, and translucent. Blush colors. Glam Air blush colors are also keyed in warm, neutral, and cool to ensure a proper complement to corresponding skin undertones for the most natural-looking results. Blush colors may be lightly sprayed over or under a foundation application depending on the artist's desired outcome. Blush colors are lightly sprayed over an airbrush foundation application, and they can also be mixed with a little bit of the foundation color in the same undertone for a more muted look. Be careful in doing this technique though, as this can turn the blush color a bit muddy looking. Contouring and bronzing. The darker shades in Glam Air can easily be used for contouring under the jaw, the hollow of the cheek, or use them to enhance your makeup application with a bronzing highlight effect. Select 3 shades darker than skin tone for contouring, or 2 shades darker than skin for bronzing highlights. Be sure that you select the shades that are keyed in the same undertone as skin for the most blendable and natural looking results. Applying makeup for men in HD means being able to trick the camera into seeing a clean complexion but not detecting any texture or the makeup that is supporting it. Men's skins are inherently thicker and firmer than women's, as they have more robust complexions that can have uneven color or hyperpigmentation issues to deal with under the makeup. Here is one quick and easy method in applying an imperceptible male makeup. This technique is good for situations that don't allow you time for a full makeup, or you may have a male client that absolutely insists on very minimal makeup. I first apply an oil neutralizing astringent to the face to help calm down the skin and remove any excess oil on the surface that can inhibit a good bond with the primer. You can use the spray and blot method, which dries quicker, or simply moisten a cotton pad and lightly swipe that over the face. Next, I apply a thin layer of anti-shine HD foundation makeup primer with a damp sponge, and paying particular attention to the areas where oil production is most prominent. Let that dry down completely for a moment or two while you determine the undertone of your male talent. Select the Pro Powder palette that corresponds with the undertone. This product is great to use for male skin because it is a foundation and powder in one and can be applied with a sponge that is either damp or dry. Next, look for the two most prominent shades that stand out in the complexion and note where they are located. Select two colors from the palette that complements these shades and have a sponge ready for each color. For stronger coverage, you can dampen the sponge with a mist of water before taking up the powder. Use the same stippling motion learned earlier in this video to apply the colors. In some areas that need a little bit of correction, take another sponge and combine the two colors together to stipple them in wherever needed. Select a third shade from the Pro Powder palette that is 2 shades darker than both of the previous colors. With the fan brush, take up a spare amount of this color and lightly brush the highest points of the face, such as the forehead, brow bone, cheeks, and chin. Applying this transparently helps to bring up further dimension to the complexion, which in turn adds a little more life to the look. Minimal makeup has maximum impact in the highly revealing clarity of an HD TV picture, and learning how to polish your skills in producing translucent, lifelike results for this format takes practice. Graftobian is specifically formulated to meet the demanding needs a makeup artist has for true color wear, adjustable coverage, smooth texture, and a flawless finish that stands up to lighting, close camera angles, and a long day of shooting. The key to polishing your makeup artistry skill set for HD work is acquiring further knowledge and proficiency in makeup color theory, lighting concepts, and HD camera functionality. It will give you a better grasp of how these elements work together to accurately translate and transmit the made-up image. Whether your high-definition makeup application begins with creams, HD Pro powders, or airbrush, Graftobian has the right products and the right tools for professional results in creating the most flawless-looking face for any camera or just everyday wear. For more information about Graftobian products for HD, visit graftobian.com or paintandpowdercosmetics.com.